looked at this question and it was first asked me, I was really like, what do I actually think? And to be honest, I was like, it depends. It really does depend. It depends on whether the people who are in the room are ready to listen, on whether they're willing to be uncomfortable, and it really depends on whether they're ready to see young people as real people and beyond just being case files. Often as care experience people, young and old, we're seeing the statistics as case files, and for some context here, for me, being care experience means anybody of any age who has grown up in the care system. If that's foster care, residential, to me that means maybe even having a social worker that's still living at home. The definition is absolutely massive. So yeah, I speak as someone who is not just someone who works with care experience young people and care experience adults, I speak from personal experience. I am care experience. So for me, this goes beyond just being a professional, it also goes into a personal aspect. So I haven't just engaged in the care system from working in it, I've also lived in it. That also means being signed up to do participatory and socially engaged arts as a young person in care. So at the age of 11, I was signed up to do that. And I'll be honest, I did not like it, because I'm now a drama facilitator, and that's my skill set. I didn't like it, I thought it was very tick boxy, which I'll go into. The fundamental of me is I know what it feels like to be someone who isn't being listened to, when your words aren't being taken seriously. And for me, I believe that's where the arts come in. If that's a performance, a poem, a workshop, for me, the arts can really kind of push for a space beyond just reports and strategies to be listened to. They make people feel. All of us in this room will watch anything and we feel. They cut through the difficultness of the system, the jargon and words that we don't understand. But most importantly for me, they remind everyone that we're talking about real people, real lives, not just case files, not just statistics and funding and government departments. We're talking about real young people who will grow up into adults who will function and go on and live their lives. One of the projects that I kind of support and work with is the PROVOCATION formula. To me, deeply, they show how to kind of use the arts in a way that cuts through. They kind of really take the work to where change needs to happen, if that's into the Department of Education, and get in the Department of Education to sit there and listen to young people, a young person tell them how difficult it is to grow up in the system. If that's into local authorities, and if that's even into training rooms. It really is about just showing that young people's voices aren't just voices, that there is experience in their lives attached to them. It also brings young people into spaces where there is power. Often as care experience people, we're excluded from spaces where power exists. Our voices, our experiences are just kind of pushed into spaces without us being there. For me, the verbatim formula and the arts in general, it creates a change and a space for people to actually listen to things that are really difficult to listen to, and it sparks that change. However, it's really not easy. Working in social services, if anybody's ever had to engage with any form of the council on any level, knows that even getting them to come out and fix a pothole is difficult. So working on them is really difficult. They're stretched, they're tired, they're underfunded. Sometimes they're really defensive. They're like, no, we don't want to listen to what you're telling us. We don't want to listen to you telling how bad the system that we've built is bad is. It's also built on risk and safeguarding, so really anything unpredictable, they're like, oh my god, no, I don't want to do that. So really, for them, it's difficult to engage in because it's not built for it, it's not built for the arts. But also, too often I found that the arts is treated as a tick box. I'm sure we've all experienced that. It's seen as participation, as a tick box activity. Wow, look at us, we're encouraging these really traumatized young people to engage in the arts. It's not used as a serious tool for dialogue and change. When I thought about that, I was like, how do we change that? How on earth do we push that to change? For me, there's three things. The first one is holding our ground as artists. Artwork isn't just about making services comfortable, it's about truth, and sometimes that truth is really uncomfortable. I'm a firm believer that art, if it's there to push and spark change, it's got to make you uncomfortable if you're watching it. I'll be honest, I think particularly around the care system, it is an uncomfortable experience, and art should do that. Second, it's about building relationships. Change doesn't happen in just one workshop. A young person isn't going to come to your workshop and learn, oh, that was life-changing. To be honest, if they didn't like it, they're probably never going to come back. They would have not enjoyed it. So it's about building relationships, and that happens over time with with trust, consistency, creating that space for care experienced people, I've written here young people as adults as well, to feel safe to speak when where professionals feel ready to listen. And thirdly, it's about giving those care experienced people agency. Often the care system wants our voices, but really that needs to only come from us, that needs to be on our terms. Our work really flips that, socially engaged work flips that. It's not about just using our trauma for impact, it's about ownership and giving the space for care experienced people to decide how they want to be heard. Briefly, this is why I set up the care experience movement, which originally was not an arts organisation, but my background is drama and fine theatre, it was always going to be arts-based. I didn't want care experienced people's voices to only exist inside the systems that they were brought up in and made to live in. I wanted us to have a space of our own. But to kind of wrap this up really briefly, for me, the good that this work can do, it isn't just about changing the systems for care experienced young people and adults. It's also about what it gives back to them, and I think that's not mentioned, never mentioned. It's about what the arts gives to those young people and care experienced people as a whole. And that, to me, it gives us more than survival, it gives us pride, it gives us joy, it gives us a chance to grow, and something that's never ever mentioned in the art spaces or the care system or to care experienced people. For me, I think it gives us a space to feel loved, if that's with the work that we're engaging with or to find love of the arts. And for me, that's the change, I think the change that has in young people. Thank you for listening.